It is being called nothing short of masterful. Award-winning actor Frank Ferrante will perform An Evening with Groucho this Friday in Taylor, and he's here to tell us all about it. Frank, thanks so much for being on with us.
Thank you. It's my treat. Thank you, Rochelle.
Hey, we want to know what drew you initially to the comedy of Groucho Marx. What inspired you to really create this?
Well, I fell in love with Groucho Marx and the Marx Brothers when I was a kid. I was 10 years old, and I was a pretty shy kid. And it was just outrageous. They were so over the top and crazy and free, and it brought me out of my shell. I was watching these classic movies from the 30s, like Duck Soup and A Night at the Opera, and I thought to myself, I want to be crazy like those guys. And it turned out to be a career for me in comedy and in theater. But I just loved how irreverent he was, and he was just funny, physically and verbally.
Yeah, we can feel your passion. So you obviously were a big fan as a small child. Do you think you have to be a fan of Groucho to appreciate this show?
Oh, no, I don't think you even have to know who he is, Rochelle, to tell you the truth. I've been doing this show for about 35 years, 3,000 performances, 500 cities, all over. In fact, the show is currently playing all over public television, including Detroit. But if you like comedy, if you like plays, if you like improv, Rochelle, a third of the show is improvised, interactive. And I don't know from night to night what's going to happen with this character who's so outrageous. He doesn't look anything like me, as you can see on the screen there, with the mustache and eyebrows. But it's a classic concoction. And it's great to see kids out there and the uninitiated, and to see them laughing. I'm not happy until the audience is in hysterics and standing up at the end. So to answer your question, you don't even have to know who Groucho Marx is.
Hey, I applaud you on the improv. That's an entirely, different, very special skill set. And you made me laugh here in studio when you said I look nothing like him, because right now you do not. But man, when you put on the mustache and the brows, you transform. If I did my research and I did my math correctly, did you ever meet Groucho Marx? Because your lives overlapped for about 14 years.
That's true. I was a boy when he was at the end of his life. My father was they were so indulgent, my parents. I have great parents, and they took me to see my comedy hero, Groucho Marx. So I loved Groucho from the time of 10 years old. And my father took the day off of work, and he took me to see Groucho, who was 86 at the time. And there he was. But looked like he was going to keel over. He wasn't the same energetic, crazy comic from the movies. And I sat at his feet at this event, and there were 1,000 of us, Rochelle, mostly kids like myself who adored Groucho. And he got up to the podium, and a woman asked Groucho, are you making any new Marx Brothers movies? Now, there's a long pause because his brothers have passed away. He's ancient. And he takes a long pause, and he goes, no, I'm answering stupid questions. And the audience went crazy. A woman said, Groucho, what do you dream about? He looked at her and said, not you. And so we all loved it. We all wanted him to be irreverent. And he was the greatest wise guy in the history of film. And so, yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting my hero. And 10 years to that week, I was playing Groucho Marx in New York. At that age, I played Groucho from age 15 to 85. I got to portray my hero. It's been a very moving journey for me. And it's one thing to see it on the film, another thing to see it live and on stage where it crackles and is exciting. And that's why I'm excited to come back to Detroit to share it with audiences again.
Yeah, you just gave me chills when you said 10 years later. Why is it so important for you? This has been such a life commitment, such a career for you, to keep the legacy of Groucho alive. Is it just the magic it brought you as a kid?
It is. It is, because before I go on stage, Rochelle, every night I say to myself, Frank, share the joy. And there's something so joyful about his comedy. And he had a 72-year career in which he just made people laugh. And that, I think, laughter is more important than ever, particularly now. These are tough times and people want to laugh. So I just want to continue that legacy of laughter. And I'm proud to be an actor and a comedian. And he inspired me.
Tough times indeed. We've got that information on the screen there. Again, the show is Friday in Taylor. Thanks so much for being on with us. I'm sure the show will be great. And I'm also certain you've heard this before, but you have a very contagious spirit, and it was wonderful chatting with you today.
It's mutual, Rochelle. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.